Some things are just a fight, but you can see we won. Let's watch the show intro. We'll see you right on the other side. We'll talk about it. We'll get into it. I'm Mike.
This is My Cars Shop.
In our last episode, we had made that really cool little hook tool, which I don't have here right now, it's in the house, but to help us in the process of removing this window, and we used the tool and we tried rope, and that seal is just harder than a hard thing, and it became very evident that I was going to break that glass. I didn't even bother wanting to film that because I didn't want the distraction of dealing with the camera. But in the end, I just cut the seal out, and even still, I had a heck of a time getting that out of there. It was stiff, it was stuck, and so anyway, it's out, and we have a big opening here now. The owner's going to put a sliding window in it anyway, so none of that matters. So I apologize that I didn't share it with you, but some things I need to focus on because part of it, I just didn't want to be sweeping up glass everywhere, and I didn't want to break the window if we didn't have to. So anyway, it's sitting over there, and it's out, and now something can fall on it and break it instead of me breaking it while I'm taking it out. I want you to see what we're dealing with. We have basically a patch to put in about right around in here. It's all rusted out. We've got some fairly significant rust there that's going to be nip and tuck as to whether we have to do any patching over there or not. The whole inside of this track is bad. I think it'll clean up okay, but we do have a hole here that we're probably going to want to put a little patch in as well. So we've got quite a bit of metal work to do, which I wasn't planning on. It's just going to add some more time to the project, probably another week or so added to the project, but it'll be worth it. Now, some of you have mentioned, why haven't I done things like cleaning up the rust around the gutters and all that stuff? I kind of have a system that I go by, and I know all that stuff needs to be done, but I try to stick with my system, and I try to work in pieces and patches and so forth. I just kind of have a methodology to this as I go around things, so I don't get ahead of myself. That way things don't get missed. I'm going to get my grinder, we're going to start grinding all this up, and we're going to see exactly what we're dealing with. As is typical of any rust, you see one little spot, it's going to be 10 times worse than what you see. It's rusted all the way from over here. Might even be, no, it's okay over here. So it's rusted from about here all the way over to here. So we're going to have to make a patch to put in here. I don't think I'm going to bother with the flange because that's good. That'll give me something to work towards. So yeah, we'll be good. And let's go on the inside now, and I'll show you what we got in here. Again, you know, it's quite a bit more significant. Now, there's quite a bit of rust over there, but I want to focus on doing these patches first and get these done, and then we'll go around and clean all of this up in here and see exactly what else needs to be done. I'm sorting out what patch we need here. I think we're going to put a piece in about like this. We're going to do a modified cut and butt. So I got to get my bend done. Got to find my maca. Okay, that's good. And then we're going to have to determine how deep this is. I'm almost wondering if I shouldn't be doing it this way. Maybe that's what we'll do. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. We'll make our bend first-ish, and then we'll trim it once we get it up there. So one step at a time here. I'll get my bend put in there. It does have just the slightest bit of arc in there. Now we should be able to do that with the shrinker stretcher. We could do this in 2 pieces, but I don't think that's necessary. Let's see if we can do it my way. If not, we'll cut it and do it that way. But we may be able to stretch it's just a minor stretch. It's just got to, it's got to stretch, not shrink. So we'll see. Got her bent. We're going to have to crisp this edge up quite a bit. So now I want to try to, I'm going to bring this down right to here. That'll make this a little bit easier to stretch. Ish. So I'm cutting about a 1/4 inch off of what I was intending to do. So we'll go there and there. All right, let's, we'll get a line drawn there. Make sure, yep, we're in good shape. And we'll get a line drawn across here. We'll cut this off, and then we'll have to go to that side to kind of sort of make it be what it needs to be, but I also need to tighten this up. Got my piece cut now. So I want to take and get this edge here tighter. So we'll take that over to hammer and dolly that a little bit and get that a little bit tighter, and then get it to fit. Then we got to put a little stretch in here, just a little teeny bit, to get that curvature in there. So I may have to make a template over there because this is going to be the opposite. So I can't really match it to that. We'll see. But you know, it doesn't have to be, you know, perfect, but it's got to be good, obviously. Curvature is pretty good. We got a little spot problem with the edge right there. We'll fix that in a minute, but I want to go ahead next and I want to get this cut out so I can figure out where this top has got to be, so that everything is nestled in and this is right in where it belongs. So we've got our, you know, we've got a nice little curvature in it now. It's not much, doesn't need to be much, and I think we're coming along good now. I call this the modified cut and butt, but it's really not a cut and butt. It uses a couple principles from the cut and butt that you don't normally do in butt welding. So what I've done is I've made my patch, and it's not fitting in there perfectly right now. It does fit really well. But what I did was I trimmed it, I cut it about 1/8 of an inch smaller here, and almost the same here. And then I put a 45-degree angle on this, and I put a 45-degree angle on this. So when this is fitting right in place, it's virtually flush. So obviously I can't, hold the camera and talk and all that stuff, but you can see that nestles right down in there, and it's virtually flush. It's close enough. It's going to fit really nice. So now we've got to go ahead and do some welding, but I also need to go down here and make sure that my bottom edge is lining up the way it should with that down here on that window track. We're good. Now there's hardly any catch there. When it pushed in place, it'll be good. So we're good there. This fits good down here. It's a little bit of a gap up in there. You can see that. But I'm not going to worry about it. We'll have to put quite a bit of weld in there anyway. So I think we're golden. We'll have to, I want to get the corners tagged here and here. I'm not worried about the middle. Normally I wouldn't want to tag it here and here because of, like when I peen this in, it could be a problem. But the issue here is that it's so small, I'm not worried about it. I wouldn't want to go like across here too much like that because that could cause issues. So we're gonna, we'll probably start here, and then just come across and then work our way down. We'll see. I do believe we're ready. You can hear the noisy welder in the background, so here we go. Along together now. Our edges are real nice, so it's literally a butt weld. Got to go down in here and do some more, of course, and then of course there'll be a bunch of grinding, but I'm pleased with the way this is coming out so far. I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update on it and let you see where we're at. Heat is your enemy, so if you can't touch it, it's too hot, and right now it's too hot, so we need to let that cool down. Then we'll go back and start filling in more. My nose is my best friend in the shop, always. So I'm not even sure what that was. I don't think it was a rag, but maybe it was. It was down underneath this, so I don't know if it's something I left in here or not, but obviously it's cooking away here. So I need to get that out so that I can smell if anything else is on fire. I could smell something. I kept looking around and not seeing anything, so. Going along and welding it up. This down in here is a little bit rough to weld, but got it. For the most part, we'll have to grind that up and see where we're at. And then going along here, of course, I got a few more spots to do. I'm just going through, and then I'm going back and blowing it off to cool it down. Weld, cool, weld, cool. I'm not videoing all that because it's so much lather, rinse, and repeat. Would make for a very boring video. So it's turning out nice. I'm really happy with the way this is going to be. It's going to come out real good. And I do have a little. I got a new piece of equipment or a new thing for the supply for the shop I'm going to try on this also, so stick around for that. It won't be too much longer. We'll hopefully be working with that. Got it rough ground. Probably not going to do too much more down here because I'm concerned about blowing up through, so I'll leave that like that. It's pretty well dressed, and just one little finger of tiger hair is going to be more than adequate for that. But I want to get this a little nicer here, so I've got a box I'm going to open for you. I haven't ever tried these, but something that Fitzy over at Fitzy Fabrications has recommended, and I've wanted to try it. They are expensive as sin, so I only ordered one because I don't know if I'm going to like it, but we'll see. So here you go. I don't know what's the top and the bottom, but I'm sure I'm opening it from the wrong side. We don't care. as long as it opens. That's it. Everything else is just paper. We'll do the right thing and store that over there. That's just a recipe or a receipt. Well, what is it? It's magic. It's a mystery. It's good grief. I think they spent more on the packaging than they did on the product. So here we go. It's called a Walter Flex Cut Disc. Now this has got to go on my bigger grinder, but we're going to try this. This is supposed to be the cat's meow. Must be mounted with a back flange. Okay, so I got to find a back flange. Hopefully I got one, and we'll go from there. So we had about 20 minutes of digging around for me to find a backing. I knew I had one. So here we go. Turn this down a little bit. Not bad, not bad. And that's kind of a bugger of a place. I don't want to do any more than that in there. Got a little bit to dress up here. I'll do that with my soft disc. But I think overall that's pretty good. So obviously got a little bit of, well, no, not really. Yeah, I think we're good. So let me go over that with my 25 grit and then we'll be right back. In my opinion, it looks pretty good. I do like the way that disc works. I don't like using it up there. I'd much rather have it where it's down closer to waist level so I can get better control. But this is smooth. There's no waves. All it's going to take is a little coat of some tiger hair, and we're going to be in good shape. So hopefully our edge here is good. I think it is. So yeah, I may want to. No, that edge is good. It was just an optical illusion. Next up, this little patch here. So that won't take much. Let me get a little piece cut out and bent up, and we'll get that done. Got my piece cut out and I got my piece bent. I also welded on a little rod so it's a lot easier to work with. So I need to just snuggle this out a little bit. I got to take a little off that edge there, I think. Or, you know what I think I'm going to do? Is I'm going to go ahead and, yeah, I got plenty of material there. I'm going to cut this back a little bit so that'll slip underneath there. That'll give me more material for welding. Should make it a little easier. So I will we'll get in here with one of these cutoff wheels, but a small one that I can put on the pneumatic, and we'll in there a little bit, and that'll allow that to slip right under there. It'll make a really nice weld then. All done and finished up. A little bit of mudding and we're going to be good. I'm about burnt. Whew. Got to decide if I'm going to run around this real quick with the wire brush or if I'm going to call it a day. I'm exhausted, that's for sure. I think I'll do this prep when I do the back of the truck, and hopefully we don't find anything else back here. We'll deal with it when we do. But that turned out pretty nice. No complaints there. So yeah, 2 little patches, almost a full day, 6 hours, just about, yeah, well, about 5 hours. So but I still got 3 hours of editing to do yet tonight on this episode. So you know, there's more to the work than just working on the vehicle every time we do this stuff. And my comment at the end there is true. You know, a full day of work is not just the work that goes on out here, but I go in and I get these episodes edited and published, and get them out there in the queue. So I got 2 or 3 hours worth of work here yet ahead of me, but I need to go sit down, and I can do that laying on the couch and relax and try to get some rest, and we'll be back out here again tomorrow. Thanks for everything, and thanks for watching. We're moving forward on our Can We Paint a Truck for $500 series. Really happy with the way this is going, and I'm really happy with the way this series is performing. So this is the kind of stuff that you will run into on a truck that looks pretty well rust-free. And I wanted to share some of the details. This is a little different work than what I do on the floor pans. On that, it's just slam bam. I don't care what it really looks like. I'm obviously not doing perfect butt weld stuff, but I want it to be pretty good because this is the external, and it's flat, it's smooth. It's going to take almost nothing to finish that off and make it look good, and that's what I was going for on the outside of that. So everything always has a context. On the inside, I didn't go quite as crazy on it because it is inside, it's behind the seat, it's not going to be visible, a little bit of tiger hair back there, and again, it's going to look fine unless you knew there was work done there. You're not going to be able to tell, and it's going to be paper thin mud, so that's all we're going for here. This is production work, it's not show work, and although there's a lot of the techniques here obviously that are the same, the biggest difference between production work and show work isn't even so much in the metal finishing and stuff. There's a little bit, but the biggest difference is in the prep time. It's in the sanding time, it's in the priming time, it's in the blocking time, and this is just literally wham, get her done. I appreciate it. We're over on the Face thing. Instant Grandma loves us, and she does chocolate chips for us. There's cookies and stuff. She's sweet. She loves us, so we're over there on that. And of course, we're here on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, share the videos on other platforms. The channel's growing like crazy, and I'm really, really happy with the growth. But obviously, I want to see it continue to grow. I've got an episode coming real soon on what I've spent on the Challenger so far. It is ridiculous how little money I've spent on that car. You're going to be shocked when you see it. So stick around on the channel. Watch for that coming in a few days or a couple weeks. You're going to like it. All right, we'll catch you on the next one. Rock!